We talk constantly about monetary inflation. But what about the inflation of your life? Today, a year feels like a month. Someone is systematically devaluing your hours. And today, I'll show you who's taking them. You know that sinking feeling in your gut when you stare at a calendar and realize an entire year slipped right past you unnoticed? It's not just nostalgia. It is pure dread. We write it off as a side effect of adulting. We tell ourselves time just speeds up when routine sets in. But what if that's the biggest lie of our era? What if that feeling of life leaking through your fingers isn't a biological glitch, but a symptom of a massive, silent heist? Remember those childhood summers? An afternoon at the lake felt like an eternity. You lay in the grass, staring at clouds, and the world actually stood still. Back then, a year was uncharted territory. An ocean of possibilities before it got optimized. Today, chug caffeine, blink once, and suddenly it's night. We're chronically exhausted. Not because we work too hard, but because we feel like we're swimming against an invisible current, dragging us faster toward the future. Mainstream science calls it subjective time perception. They feed us charts about neural stimuli and brain aging, but that doesn't explain this primal restlessness. It doesn't explain the feeling of being ripped off. Your gut isn't lying. Look, digital clocks are everywhere. On walls, stoves, cars, wrists, literally everywhere. We thought they measured time. In reality, they're siphoning it. They are the interfaces for a global parasite. This theory goes beyond the news, the Chronos siphon. Here, your consciousness acts as an organic processor. And here is the trap. When you do nothing, just sitting there, waiting, or staring blankly at a screen, your time is being extracted. We loan the system our power to keep this world simulation stable. We are batteries. The system's hunger is growing. It needs more seconds, minutes, and hours to maintain the status quo. These are the cracks. Time is stolen where you least notice, in the gaps of your life, in your passivity. Brain rot? You're more than welcome. Interestingly, Kids seem to be immune to this. For a child, an hour at the park is an eternity. Maybe their brains vibrate at a different frequency and haven't quite synced up with the global grind. Sorry, I mean rhythm. We strap digital trackers on our kids earlier every year. We call it progress. In reality, it's calibration. We feed them to the system, so their time is useful. When they take the digital beat, summer dies. Sounds crazy? I know. In megacities, the chronal deficit is at its peak. People aren't running because of an appointment. They're fleeing a void left by a pawned-off present. A cycle. The more they rob, the more we frantically try to optimize the rest. Every time-saving app just oils the interface to our minds. Every saved second is confiscated for power. We're trapped in an efficiency trap. Our laziness is required for the illusion. If we all stopped staring, the simulation would lag. The edges flicker because access to you just cut off. Why do you feel recharged after creative work? Happy hormones? Oh no, you were just off-grid. The system is hungry. We are the fuel. Passivity isn't recharging. It's an invitation to a heist. Every time you kill time, you are the one being buried. You know that flickering in your peripheral vision when you're passive too long. It's not your eyes. The simulation lags because it's draining you. We're at a critical point. Time inflation is peaking. That's why years have the shelf life of a week. It takes more anti-attention to keep the construct stable. The world is racing because our hardware is at its limit. We use more time than we have. We live on credit. If we don't act, we'll become ghosts in our own lives. We'll be physically present while our essence is processed elsewhere, feeding the algorithms of a reality that doesn't even belong to us. You can't stop the clocks, but you can sabotage the system. The only way out is a conscious act. Passive near a digital clock, you're the perfect victim. But once you get creative, when you take action and make ideas real, you generate complexity so high that the system cannot pause you. By the way, a tip for the time warp. Find a new experience every single week. It forces your hardware to write fresh data and stretches your lifespan. You're welcome. I'm going to write a new script, just in case.